Hi, ProspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, April 15th, right smack dab in the middle of the month of April, and it is quite cold across the central U.S. all the way into the eastern states. It looks like this chilly pattern will certainly continue right into the upcoming weekend. We have a reinforcing cold front that'll slide on through the mid-Atlantic region in the overnight hours. Later tonight, temperatures late tonight and again late tomorrow night in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor should be way down in the 30s, maybe the low to mid 30s, and patchy frost is certainly possible both late tonight and late tomorrow night in many of the suburban locations along the I-95 corridor. This is the 2-meter temperature anomaly map as we begin the day here on Wednesday, and really eastern two-thirds of the nation below normal, and in some cases significantly below normal. Yesterday morning we showed kind of a wide-ranging area of near record or record lows. That has expanded a little bit this morning to the east, and we'll show that next. And here it is, the plot from coolweather.com that shows record lows or near record lows for the date. All these circles that are outlined in white are breaking record low temperatures for the date. This is the 8 a.m. Eastern map. Could show a little bit more in the way of near record or record lows over the next hour or two as we get through the early morning hours out in the middle and western part of the nation. But again, this morning, pretty wide-ranging area of not only cold weather conditions, but in many cases near record or even record low temperatures as of this morning, and we saw similar conditions yesterday morning. Well, here's a current radar map across the nation from WSI's Intellicast.com. One thing that jumps out at me right away is all the blue. Again, here we are in the middle part of April, April 15th, and all the snow is represented here by blue echoes. We had an area of precipitation, mainly in the form of rain, sliding through the I-95 corridor region from D.C. to Philly to New York City in the late night, early morning hours. That is edging off the eastern seaboard currently. Meanwhile, quite an extensive area here over Chicago of snow. That actually is associated with what is developing as a cold frontal system. A reinforcing cold front will indeed slide through the I-95 corridor region late tonight, and by morning it'll be quite cold around D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and again late tomorrow night quite cold. Both of those late night, early morning time periods can feature some patchy frost as well. Meanwhile, scattered snow all the way throughout the western part of the nation into the southwestern part of Canada. There is some good news in a sense for Florida. Their weather pattern is becoming much more unsettled. They have a good chance of showers and thunderstorms pretty much on a daily basis. All of this is associated with a cold frontal system sliding through. Places like Melbourne will come close to 90 degrees again for one more day this afternoon, but then be much cooler tomorrow in the 70s, maybe the low to mid 70s, with a stiff wind out of the north following the passage of that frontal system. And really on a daily basis for the next several days, there'll be a chance of showers and thunderstorms across Florida, which is good news because they've been in quite a dry spell since the beginning of March. And again, a well-needed rainfall quite possible in many parts of Florida over the next several days. Well, let's walk through the surface forecast maps from last night's operational run of the GFS model at 0Z. Again, an area of primarily rain in the I-95 corridor region, edging slowly to the south and east. There should be increasing amounts of sunshine today in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, while snowing over Chicago. And let's move forward here. One thing I pointed out yesterday about the thickness pattern and how you can kind of detect a cold front is coming through the mid-Atlantic region. It's one way is to look at this. These dashed blue lines represent thickness values of the lower half of the atmosphere, the thickness of that layer between the surface and 500 millibars, where 500 millibars kind of represents the middle part of the atmosphere. Basically, the thickness of that layer is correlated with temperatures. The lower the thickness, the lower the temperature. It's 528 thickness as of this evening across the southern part of Pennsylvania, and here comes what looks like a cold frontal system, and we could kind of verify that with a change in the thickness values. Here we go, maybe a snow shower late tonight, and here we go by tomorrow afternoon. That 528 thickness drops south of Pennsylvania, cutting across the DC metro region. Indeed, a colder air mass between later today and later tomorrow. So temperatures may actually hold in the upper 40s for highs tomorrow afternoon. Places like the suburbs of Philadelphia, for example, way below normal for this time of the year. The average high temperature right now in Philly, for example, is about 63, 64 degrees. So again, a reinforcing cold front comes through in the overnight hours, stays quite chilly, way below normal on Thursday. And then we have another system that is going to kind of slide along a boundary zone here, the frontal boundary zone, with a wave of low pressure by Friday in the Ohio Valley. And looks like rain showers will move into the DC, Philadelphia, New York City corridor during the afternoon and continue into the evening hours. Snow is likely in upstate Pennsylvania and areas north of there across southern part of New York, but it looks like in the big cities from DC to New York, primarily in the form of rain, if not completely in the form of rain. Again, Friday afternoon into Friday evening. That slowly works its way through the region. Here we are now by Saturday morning into the midday hours. Still some rain showers kind of hanging on along areas from Route I-95 to the coast. But that kicks on out of here on Saturday afternoon. At least should turn out to be on the cool side, but rain-free by Saturday afternoon, and a fairly decent day to wrap up the weekend on Sunday as well. But again, the big picture here is that the cold pattern we're in for the middle part of April will continue here in the Mid-Atlantic region right through the rest of the week and into the upcoming weekend, largely thanks to a reinforcing cold front that passes through late tonight. Watch out for patchy frost over the next couple of late nights, early mornings, especially in suburban areas along that I-95 corridor region. That's it for now. For PerspectiveWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Orian.